Hey there! Are you terrified of speaking in public? You're not alone. Did you know that the fear of speaking in public, also known as glossophobia, affects more people worldwide than any other fear? Some studies even suggest that this fear affects more people than the fear of death. If you combine this with the fact that you may be having to speak publicly in a language that is not your native tongue, then it's only natural that you're going to feel insecure about your ability to present information. But help is on the way. There are many techniques you can learn to overcome your fear of speaking in public and also to work on those English skills to make you feel more confident and accurate and fluent presenting information on any topic. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Miranda. I'm an English teacher from the United States, and I live and work in Vienna, Austria, where I teach English to the international community. If you enjoyed today's lesson, you might want to think of subscribing. I'm coming out with a series over the next few weeks, all focused on speaking skills, presentation skills, and public speaking. So experts believe that this fear of speaking in public probably stems from having bad experiences in the past where you had to present information to a group and you failed in some way. Either you were embarrassed or you didn't know an answer and you had a bad feeling. So one way to overcome this fear is to be successful in presenting information. If you go through presentations again and again with positive reaction, you can slowly become more confident in your ability to speak in public. Another way I would suggest overcoming this fear and becoming a more articulate speaker is to work on rhetoric, so the way in which you present information, and also on your English skills in general. So if you expand your vocabulary to include all the ways that you can present information, refer to visual aids, and engage your audience during a presentation, you will become more confident and it won't feel like such a foreign language to you. So in today's lesson, I would like to look at 15 verbs that you can use to talk about the purpose of your presentation. Why did I choose this as the first lesson in the series? Because when you plan your presentation, you should always keep in mind your listeners. So who is the audience? What information do they need? It's not about what you would like to present, but what your audience needs to receive from you. So that's one thing you need to keep in mind, similar to writing. Like when you're writing, you should also always have in mind who is reading my report, who is reading this, and it makes it more concise and more focused. So when you're presenting, you keep your listener in mind. That's one thing. Another thing you have to keep in mind is your purpose. Why am I giving these people this information? And stick to your purpose in everything that you say. This is particularly important when you're planning your presentation. So at the beginning, you're going to tell your audience what you're going to present and the purpose of it. Let's go through the first 5 verbs you can use for that and how they're used in the sentence. So when you learn vocabulary in general, it's always a good idea to learn context. I know there are a lot of lessons out there where you just learn random vocabulary. Maybe teachers compare basic vocabulary with advanced vocabulary. That's fine and good to some extent, but I think it's really important due to the structure of English that you learn how these words are used in context and in a sentence. What I've done is I'm going to present these words to you, and we are going to imagine that I'm giving a presentation and the topic of my presentation is public speaking. So I want you to pay attention to how these verbs differ in how they're used grammatically in the sentence. Some of these verbs may seem easy to you and you may know them already, but I want you to listen for details, like some of them take different prepositions or some of them take a different word order. So first I'm going to tell my audience what I plan. So I can introduce this by saying, good morning everybody, thanks for coming. My name is Miranda and today I'm going to be talking to you about public speaking. Today I'm going to be telling you about the benefits of learning public speaking skills. Today I'm going to be showing you how to deal with anxiety while delivering an effective presentation. Today I'm going to be taking a look at how you can improve your presentation skills during online meetings. Today I'm going to be reporting on the results of a recent study on the positive effects of good communication skills among staff. So notice these verbs and the prepositions they take. Any of these sentences can be used for the introduction. Today I will be doing, right? So we take the gerund with I will be doing, the future continuous. So that was the first sentence, and then the second part you could say I'll begin by. So whenever we have a verb and a preposition, it's also followed by the gerund or ing form. So my first example is I'll begin by filling you in on phrases you can use in any presentation. Filling you in. It's informing you. I'll begin by making a few observations about mistakes that are typically made by non-native speakers while delivering a presentation. I'll begin by giving you an outline of the various types of presentations you may be expected to give. I'll begin by bringing you up to date on the latest developments regarding platforms we can use for online meetings. Also notice the prepositions that are used in this vocabulary. Bring you up to date on, filling you in on something, making observations about something, outlining the guidelines for something. So I'm going to outline something. I'm going to outline my presentation. To give an overview of my talk. I'll introduce the next sentence with next. I'll go on to, this means I will continue, or the next part. I'll go on to, and after to is infinitive. I can take the infinitive form of the verb in this case. Next, I'll go on to highlight the advantages of having a 10-minute limit on all presentations in the office. Then I'll go on to put the situation into some sort of perspective. Then I'll go on to talk you through an outline for a perfect, concise, effective presentation. To talk you through something. This is when I have a visual, or it even doesn't have to be a physical visual. If I explain something point by point, I can say I'm talking you through it. I'm instructing you. And then I'll go on to make detailed recommendations on why public speaking workshops are beneficial to your company. And then I'll go on to discuss in more depth the techniques that you can adopt to become a more effective speaker. So these 15 verbs can be used in just the first couple sentences of your presentation. I want you to highlight them. You can look at them and highlight how they are used in combination with a preposition or no preposition, and how they are used to build the complete sentence. Because with English, even though a word may be a synonym, it doesn't mean that it can be used in the exact same way. This happens very often with verbs that are similar. Like many people think that talk, speak, and tell are real synonyms, but of course they're used in different ways. We don't say, I told to him, but we say I said to him or I spoke to him. So we can't use the same prepositions, we can't use the same verb patterns with all synonyms, even though the meaning may seem very, very similar or even identical. So I'm going to start the sentence with the verb, and I want you to think about what follows. So is there a preposition that follows, or is there a noun that follows? Okay, so the first one is, I'm going to be talking to you about. So talk to someone about something. That's the pattern. I'm going to be showing you how to do something. I'm going to be showing you how to use this device, for example. I'm going to be reporting on something. I'm going to be reporting on the current situation. So with this one, we don't take a direct object. We don't say, I'm going to be reporting you on. No. I'm going to be reporting on the situation. I'm going to be reporting on the results from last year. Always report on something. Just a little test. All right, and now for a phrasal verb. I'm going to be filling, it's transitive. I'm going to be filling you in on something. I'm going to be updating you. Okay, this means I'm going to bring you up to date. I'm going to be filling you in on our deadlines next week. I'm going to be filling you in on what we need to do tomorrow. I'm going to be outlining. Good, it takes the object, it takes a noun. I'm going to be outlining my plan for today's presentation. I'm going to be outlining our goals for the next year. I'm going to be giving. To give takes a direct object. I'm going to be giving you an overview of my presentation. I'm going to be giving you an overview of our expenditures at the company. I'm going to be highlighting the main advantages. So you highlight something similar to emphasizing. I'm going to highlight the positive results from last year's survey. Okay, a phrasal verb with talk. So I want to explain things in detail. I'm going to talk you through the program. I'm going to talk you through what needs to be done tomorrow. It's to explain in detail, step by step. I'll talk you through it. So also if you're teaching someone something, you could say, okay, you're sitting at the computer, I'm going to talk you through it. Then I tell you step by step what needs to be done. So I've given you 15 examples, but the beginning should be short and concise, just using 3 of these phrases. For example, if you have a 3-part presentation, it would sound something like this. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. My name is Miranda, and today I will be talking to you about how to give an effective presentation. I'll begin by making a few observations about why people are so terrified of speaking in public. I will then go on to put the situation into some kind of perspective and make a few detailed recommendations on how to train staff to become better speakers. Okay, that's it for today's lesson. So if you would like a template with these so you can make your own examples that pertain to your next presentation, I will link a PDF to the description box. And if you would like to get notified on upcoming presentation skills videos, then don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. In any case, it was nice having you today, and I look forward to seeing you in the future. Take care.